quarter of a mile, merge onto Westway, A40. Continue on Westway for 1 mile.
You just punished me. And I said, well, yeah, you have to have consequences when you do things that you really shouldn't be doing, but I love you. I'm always going to feed you and care for you, and no matter what you do, you know. If the only reaction to misbehavior is shame, and we don't want to shame our kids, then we decide we have to be indifferent to it, right? Or we have to be indifferent to our friend's behavior. Oh, it's okay, I'm just not even going to address it. It's possible to say, I don't like what you did, but I adore you. I delight in you. Right?
And it's important for the parent to make sure that even if they don't ask the question, that you're reinforcing that as best as possible.
You have to, exactly. She gave me an opportunity. Right. I love that. And she's like, this isn't adding up. But
Right.
It's never adding up for our kids, and so we have to go out of our way to
But
explain
oftentimes the child won't express that, and you've got to be in tune enough as a parent to know that they may be wounded, and how do they better understand that. So that,
Yeah.
I think, is a good approach. You had a piano experience, I think, with your daughter that really caught my attention. I love the way you learn through what's around you. So what happened with the piano?
You just get to watch your kids. They're so unfiltered. They teach you just through the fact that they're not hiding anything or protecting anything.
That's right.
So, yeah, she had been wanting to take piano for years, and we finally were able to get a piano. And I could hear her downstairs playing. And
In
she
300
came
yards,
upstairs,
keep right to stay on
shortly
Westway,
thereafter.
A40.
And I asked her how it went, and she said, you know, Dad, it's really hard to play the piano when you're thinking about how happy your mom and dad are that you're playing the piano.
No, that's right.
Right? And
She was very
so
cognizant of
Keep
that.
right
yeah,
to
she's
stay on
sitting down there
Westway.
playing, and her mind's going to, what are people thinking of what I'm doing?
But it's not like you had expressed, do it right.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. She was just thinking, Mom and Dad are
Continue
really happy
on
that I'm
Westway
playing
for
the
1.5
And so it's
miles.
not just Mom and Dad are going to be disappointed in me.
Yeah.
It's this constant referencing of how will people be reacting, even if it's positively to what I do. It's a lot of what we do is we go out in the world hoping that the crowds will respond positively to it, right?
Yeah, Kelly, let me ask you though, when you're trying to fill your child up with that kind of self-confidence, I think you can go overboard too,
Yeah.
where they have a false sense of that. In other words, they know they're not. It's giving a trophy to everybody. I mean, we see that in the culture today. There's no first place winner. Everybody's a first place winner. Well, the world really doesn't operate that way. There is first place and second place and last place. And I think
you see
there's...
this. Yeah, you see this pendulum swing
Right.
from we're going to shame our kids as coaches to we're going to give everybody a trophy.
So how do we as Christian parents do a biblical job, a godly job of making sure our kids are not, the rug's not taken out from under their sense of self-worth, yet they have a dose of reality.
Yeah. Well, in the Bible, when someone encounters the unconditional love of God, they're often renamed.
Interesting.
And I think, so one of the things, for instance, since you mentioned soccer, one of the things that we do, myself and my co-coach on our soccer teams is somewhere near the end of the season, after we've gotten to know the kids, we do awards instead of awards.
Awards.
Awards, right. And so we pick a word that we think exemplifies who they are.
Unique to that child.
Unique to that child,
That's
not how
good.
they played. We write the word on it, we write their name, the word, and then the definition, and then we give it to them in a ceremony.
What would be an example? Does one kid pop out for you?
Oh, yeah. Loyal would be one that pops out for my son.
Okay.
When he has decided that you're one of his people, his teammate, his friend, or
He's
whatever,
all in.
That kid is all in, man. I would someday. Some people are going to be really lucky to have him for a friend. And so loyal would be an example. And so we identify these words. And so they didn't get trophies saying everybody performed the same, everybody's behavior was equivalent, but they got words that actually distinguished them from each other and tried to name who they are and the beautiful thing that's in them.
Well, and again, I love your blog. I love what you are saying to your daughter and the letters you've written. What a great idea for all fathers. I've journaled for my two boys, and that's what I've done.
In a quarter of a mile, keep right to stay on Westway, A14.
They've got a nice leather-bound journal now. I haven't given it to them yet. I think it'll be at the end of their senior year. They'll both get their journals. And thoughts and ideas and praise and concern. I'm stating what I'm concerned about, but hopefully in a way that is constructive for them and to be have an eye on for their own character and behavior.
So if they're typical young men,
I'm sure
they'll ignore it for 4 or 5 years.
About 26, 7,
Yes.
they'll probably crack it open.
Yes, and it will be.
My dad said that.
Totally, it'll be a treasure at that point.
But it is what you enjoy doing, and it's a great model for the rest of us. I do want to touch on the idea of grace because it's so critical, so misunderstood today. I
Keep
think,
right to stay on
and in a
Westway.
culture that buries you, takes you down if you don't measure up to some kind of criteria. We can forget God's grace toward us and for us, especially the person listening right now who may not have a relationship with
Continue
Christ.
on A40 for 3/4 of a
Paint
mile.
the picture. She has been buried in relationships, not found any worth, a sense of worth the way men have treated her. Maybe she's had an abortion because that relationship she had ended poorly and she didn't feel like she could raise a child because of her finances, whatever the reason. Speak to me as if you're speaking to her about God's grace. What would you say to me? And I'm in the bottom of the barrel right now. You don't know my life.
First thing I would say is that your pain, the pain you feel right now, is not going to go away in a moment of me saying anything. This pain is something that will have to be redeemed over the course of a very long time for you, and that's okay.
So know that.
Know that.
Emotionally, it's going to take time.
If you feel like you have to feel better immediately, then there's more shame, right? I'm not good at healing. I can never recover. Healing takes time. If I feel like it's something I say needs to heal you immediately, now I'm shaming you because my sense of worth is dependent upon you responding to my words. So we have to be really careful of expecting immediate results. But I think what I would say is, there's one person who knows you better than anyone else. This person created your soul, sent it into the world in this particular body.
In a quarter of a
And it
mile,
hasn't been
slide
easy for
left
you.
onto Leamington
But
Park,
there's someone
A4000.
with a capital S who still remembers the little one that he created and can see that little one still in you, and it's just waiting for you to see it too. And he'll if you dedicate your life to
Slide left onto
listening for
Leamington
his
Park,
voice within you,
A4000, then slide
you'll get
left
there.
onto Horn Lane.
You'll discover that little one again.
Dr. Kelly Flanagan offering us a really good word about the importance of resting in God's grace and trusting in His goodness, especially when it comes to your parenting. And I hope you've been encouraged by his message today on Focus on the Family. Dr. Flanagan's book, once again.
Proverbs, chapter 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. For gaining wisdom and instruction, for understanding words of insight, for receiving instruction in prudent behavior, doing what is right and just and fair, for giving prudence to those who are simple, knowledge and discretion to the young. Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance, for understanding proverbs and parables.
Slide left onto Horn Lane, A4000. In 50 yards, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Knoll Road.
Of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They are a garland to grace your head, and a chain to adorn your neck. My son, if sinful men entice you, do not give in to them. If they say, "Come along with us, let's lie in wait for innocent blood, let's ambush some harmless soul. Let's swallow them alive like the grave, and whole like those who go down to the pit. We will get all sorts of valuable things, and fill our houses with plunder. Cast lots with us. We will all share the loot. My son, do not go along with them. Do not set foot on their paths. For their feet rush into evil. They are swift to shed blood. How useless to spread a net where every bird can see it. These men lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush only themselves. Such are the paths of all who go after ill-gotten gain. It takes away the life of those who get it. Out in the open, wisdom calls aloud. She raises her voice in the public square. On top of the wall, she cries out. At the city gate, she makes her speech. How long will you who are simple love your simple ways? How long will mockers delight in mockery, and fools hate knowledge? Repent at my rebuke. Then I will pour out my thoughts to you. I will make known to you my teachings. But since you refuse to listen when I call, and no one pays attention when I stretch out my hand, since you disregard all my advice and do not accept my rebuke, I in turn will laugh when disaster strikes you. I will mock when calamity overtakes you.
In 300 yards, at the roundabout, take the second
When
exit
disaster
onto
sweeps
Prince's
over you
Gardens.
like a whirlwind, when distress and trouble overwhelm you. Then they will call to me, but I will not answer. They will look for me, but will not find me, since they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord. Since they would not accept my advice and spurn my rebuke, they will eat the fruit of their ways and be filled with the fruit of their schemes. For the waywardness of the simple will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will live in safety and be at ease without fear of harm. Chapter 2. My son, if you accept my words and store up my commands within you, turning your ear to wisdom and applying your heart to understanding. Indeed, if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as for silver, and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He holds success in store for the upright. He is a shield to those whose walk is blameless. For he guards the course of the just, and protects the way of his faithful ones. Then you will understand what is right and just and fair, every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you. Wisdom will save you from the ways of wicked men, from men whose words are perverse, who have left the straight paths to walk in dark ways, who delight in doing wrong, and rejoice in the perverseness of evil, whose paths are crooked, and who are devious in their ways. Wisdom will save you also from the adulterous woman, from the wayward woman with her seductive words, who has left the partner of her youth, and ignored the covenant she made before God. Surely her house leads down to death, and her paths to the spirits of the dead. None who go to her return or attain the paths of life. Thus you will walk in the ways of the good, and keep to the paths of the righteous. For the upright will live in the land, and the blameless will remain there. But the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the unfaithful will be torn from it. Chapter 3. My son, Do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you peace and prosperity. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Do not be wise.
In 200 yards, at the roundabout,
and
take the
shun
first exit onto Haven
This will
Green,
bring
the
health to
Broadway.
your body and nourishment to your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, as a father the son he delights in. Blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding, for she is more profitable than silver, and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire.
In 200 yards, turn right onto the Broadway,
Long life is in her
A4020.
right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who take hold of her. Those who hold her fast will be blessed. By wisdom, the Lord laid the earth's foundations. By understanding, he set the heavens in place. By his knowledge, the watery depths were divided, and the clouds let drop the dew. My son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Preserve sound judgment and discretion. They will be light.
Turn right onto the Broadway, A4020.
Then you will go on your way in safety, and your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Have no fear of sudden disaster, or of the ruin that overtakes the wicked. For the Lord will be at your side. And will
Continue
keep
on
your foot from being
A4020 for
snared.
3/4 of a mile.
Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in your power to act. Do not say to your neighbor, come back tomorrow and I'll give it to you, when you already have it. Do not plot harm against your neighbor, who lives trustfully near you. Do not accuse anyone for no reason, when they have done you no harm. Do not envy the violent, or choose any of their ways. For the Lord detests the perverse, and takes the upright into his confidence. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. He mocks proud mockers, but shows favor to the humble and oppressed. The wise inherit honor, but fools get only shame. Chapter 4. Listen, my sons, to a father's instruction. Pay attention and gain understanding. I give you sound learning, so do not forsake my teaching. For I too was a son to my father, still tender and cherished by my mother. Then he told me, he said to me, take hold of my words with all your heart. Keep my commandments, and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding. Cherish her, and she will exalt you. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will give you a garland to grace your head, and present you with a glorious crown. Listen, my son, accept what I say, and the years of your life will be many. I instruct you in the way of wisdom, and lead you along straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to instruction. Do not let it go. Guard it well, for it is your life. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked, or walk in the way of evildoers. Avoid it. Do not travel on it. Turn from it and go on your way. for they cannot rest until they do evil. They are robbed of sleep till they make someone stumble. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter.
In 200 yards, turn right onto Bedford
But
Road.
the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart. For they are life to those who follow them, and health
Turn right
to those
onto
who
Bedford Road, then you will arrive at your destination.
Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Keep your mouth free of